Travis Wingizel, as promised in my comparing the second edition of the Preach My Gospel video that I just uploaded. We're going to go over verse 40 from the teacher's manual and the student manual that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints wants you to know and what they don't want you to know. Okay? Now, we already know the basics. It's Jesus. Regardless of the truth, it's always Jesus. So in the teacher's manual, it's lesson number 5, coming forth of the Book of Mormon and the restoration of the priesthood, which ended with the death of Joseph Smith. You don't have priesthood authority. Remember, you watched that previous video. Some old guy, older than me, arguing about what is written as factual information, thinking that he can just deny it. There was. An old guy would stalk ex-Mormon channels, trying to troll ex-Mormons who comment warm and fuzzy comments to the ex-Mormons for their video. And so I was trolled by him as I gave a warm and fuzzy comment to, it was probably ex-Molex, back in the day, back when she still liked me. She doesn't like me anymore. And so yeah, he was a big advocate that the current administration that we have today, and the same process for succession, etc., was exactly the same as Joseph Smith's. No. Read section 102. Tell me, where is that today? God. And all these old people who need to take their pills and take a nap. I'm getting there. I take naps, no pills. I can take a nap all by myself. So, verse 40, you should probably read that first. I didn't have it up on the screen, ready to go. I'm slacking off. So, context. Nephi appears to Joseph Smith. He's wearing a transparent robe so that Joseph Smith can see that he's a man. And he's described as Emmanuel, the sun god at noonday. And he's telling him about prophecies of the end of the world for the latter days. So he talks about Malachi, adds a few stuff that are kind of essential to your eternal salvation, considering this is the bicentennial year. And then he gets to 40. In addition to these, he quoted the 11th chapter of Isaiah. 2 Christs. Shh. Learning of the Jews. Saying that it was about to be fulfilled. He quoted also the 3rd chapter of Acts. 22nd and 23rd verses, precisely as they stand in our New Testament. See, he quotes Isaiah, or they have a footnote for Isaiah, it's 40a, and that takes you to the passage, Isaiah 11, 10, 1 through 16. But then, B is not until he said that that prophet was Christ. And so they correctly put in Deuteronomy 18:15 through 19, because when you go to Acts 3:22 to 23, which is also there in the footnotes, and they have the repeated one in Acts chapter 7, verse 37, he's quoting from Deuteronomy. But there's at least, well, they put 3 Nephi 20 for the Micah thing for cutoff, but you got to go to them. But then you still need to go to Micah, because that won't lead you to Micah. They won't do it. Why won't they do it? Because these are the prophecies. Micah. That's where it says cut off. Because you go to Acts, no cut off. Not there. But it's precisely as they stand in our New Testament. Where is it? It's a different word. And if you know Greek, you'll know it's even a different word because there's extra words for it. Utterly. Okay? So this verse, as a missionary, we're supposed to be going around telling everybody this is our Christ. Deuteronomy, written by Jesus. It's the learning of the Christians. That's what the church says. Please tell me you have not been duped by the church. And you know that a Jew wrote the book of Deuteronomy, wrote the book of Acts for that matter too. And so therefore, you're smart enough to read the Book of Mormon, 1 Nephi chapter 1, verse 2, that the Book of Mormon, the whole Book of Mormon, is written in the learning of the Jews too. Just like the Bible, the whole Bible, and nothing but the Bible, except for other books that were rejected by Christians. Okay? So stay away from section 103, verse 16. Don't want to spoil who our Christ is. Don't do it. No, just because I say it doesn't mean that you're going to spite me and read it. No, secrets are kept for a reason. Don't read it. You'll learn the truth and be converted. The church has worked hard to keep that a secret from you. So, the teacher's manual suggested approaches based on the following statement by President Ezra Taft Benson. Lead a discussion concerning the question, why was the translation of the Book of Mormon a most major task given for Joseph following the first vision? Yeah, I don't see Joseph Smith history anywhere here. Oh, there we go. Joseph Smith history 6675. They skip over the visit. They go right to him working on the book. How did he get the book? We need to know how he got the book. Why is Moroni and not Nephi on all the temples? Okay, here we have theme sources, history of the church. 1, 18 through 59. But that's the actual volume 1, not the Joseph Smith history. Although it's possible that it's similar, but I'm thinking it's pages 18 to 59 rather than... Well, they're talking about 116 pages. Help students appreciate the miraculous nature. I don't know how to blow up my Adobe Reader here, but we'll struggle through just for you. How long it took? 1.5 months. Not 3, 1.5. I'll give you a hint. Section 10, it's not 1828. It's 1829. Bruce purposely deceived you. Oh my God. See, after 116 pages were lost, when Martin Harris was allowed, he wasn't allowed, he stole them. Real translation began on section 10. See, Oliver Cowdery had to finish with Sidney Rigdon before he was there with Joseph Smith at the Whitmer home. But notice that Joseph is in harmony now. Which harmony? Now they're purposely... You have to know real church history, and the only one who knows it is me. I'm the only one who's discussing it with you. And I can take the time to go over it if anybody's still listening at 13 minutes in again. But we're trying to focus on verse 40. That's what this video is about. And explain that ancient prophets foresaw the coming forth of the Book of Mormon. Do you know where you're coming from? Yeah, the teachers purposely gloss over it. So, yeah, the teachers are clueless. Obviously, they're told they got to read the whole context before selecting what to teach for that 1 hour period of the day. But it's clear they purposely don't, because the majority of teachers only read from the manual for the lesson, just like in Sunday school. Alright. Okay. Prelude, Joseph Smith's Heritage, First Vision, Period of Preparation, 1823. So it's chapter 4 here. So it would have been chapter 4 on the other one then. Okay, so we'll go back. Waste your time because they're not labeling these things properly. All right, preparation. Moroni. There's the first lie. They have the Joseph Smith papers now. They're supposed to be telling us the truth. They're supposed to tell us what's in the Joseph Smith papers, because the scriptures and manuals for the scriptures are all null and void. Joseph Smith papers are the authoritative source for all things Joseph Smith. It's what they say on the Joseph Smith papers homepage. And here they are, still putting in Moroni. But yeah, this goes way back to my generation when I was taking this class at Rick's. See, after 4 years of preparation, so 1823, 4 years. So what bicentennial year is it this year? Why isn't the church mentioning this? Hill. Moroni's initial council, is that what you're calling it? 1823 included warning that Joseph Smith's personal objectives, yeah, because that's what it was all about. Oh my God. Oh my God. Seriously, that was it. And then they go to the first visit at the Hill Cumorah. Oh my God. They skip it over. They won't talk about it. Nope. Wow. Yeah. Screw you. Because, again, it's easier to read from a manual with the church telling you what to believe than it is to actually go to the scriptures themselves and see the bigger context and realize that the church is lying to you and that they're purposely leaving out information that's vital to your eternal salvation. Preparations on page 37. They've got a picture of the farm. Interesting. And there's the Coopersmith shop. Anybody know why that's important? Anybody? Anybody? Here we go. First appearance of Moroni in 1822. What are you doing? Yeah, it's the second sentence. By September 1823, it was 2 stories high, but without a roof. The family continued to live in their small log house. Okay? So. And so they're treating this as a real, literal history event. And so as a real, literal history event, it was nighttime. The brothers are all in their beds. We know that there were 2 beds on either side of the door that led to the girls' room and the upper level in the roof area of the small log home. And so Joseph Smith was sharing the bed with a brother, and only Joseph sees the light, again described as Emmanuel, and he's talking to Joseph. And where's the brothers? Why don't they wake up? It was all night. Joseph Smith was unable to go to sleep. So yeah, there's a problem here if you're going to take this literal history. But they're treating it as if 17-year-old Joseph retired for the night. Don't even cover the questions that are on our little impressionable minds in seminary. Okay, yeah, oh, they have no problem talking about the nakedness of Moroni. They quote that. Oh my God. Oh, Heber J. Grant. Did you know he's the first president of this church? You didn't? Oh. Okay. Yeah, we'll check it out. They're saying Moroni held the keys of the stick of Ephraim. Doctrine and Covenants, section 27, 1830. Is that why they're changing Nephi to Moroni, huh? Now we got to do a Joseph Smith Papers check. Section 27. I'm sensing a bombshell. White screen of death. Okay, this is the Book of Commandments. Is that what I'm seeing here? "28th Commandment." Um, 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 hmm, um, um, let's try this one. Oh, these are from Articles and Covenants. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, this is 1835. Yeah, Articles and Covenants didn't have it. It was missing. Told you there'd be bombshells. So in 1835, oh, there's a note next to Moroni. And they're not. You're making me go scroll down now. Five. Moroni is the last prophet featured in the Book of Mormon. Joseph Smith stated that an angelic Moroni appeared to him in 1823 and later directed him to the location where the Book of Mormon records were buried. You're just circular logic. For different accounts of Moroni's visitations to Joseph Smith. Yeah, it's Nephi. They altered. It's Nephi. They messed up. They purposely covered it up. Because they tell you to refer to the Joseph Smith history. Oh my God. Wow. I told you there'd be a bombshell. They purposely Nephi has the record of the keys of the record of the stick of Ephraim. But the book is not the Book of Mormon. It says within the Book of Mormon that it is not the stick of Ephraim from Ezekiel 37. And so Joseph Smith would not have made that error. Because it's in the Book of Mormon that it's not. And also to Elias, it's the restoration of all things. But that's Elishua, the gospel. Yeah. Interesting. But you're referring to this as John, the forerunner, not Elishua, which came to the Kirtland Temple. Fascinating. Told you there'd be a scandal. Okay. It's Nephi. Why doesn't the church want us to have Nephi? Why are they pushing Moroni? So important was Nephi's message. Okay. Wait a minute. Nephi, because I got to correct this now. Nephi cited several passages from the Bible, Old Testament, quoting prophets such as Malachi, Isaiah, Joel, Peter, Peter, I don't even see the footnote for Peter, let alone the text. Who the hell wrote this? I will quote it as they put it. Moroni cited several passages from the Bible, quoting prophets such as Malachi, Isaiah, Joel, and Peter, concerning the preparations to be made in the last days for the millennial reign of Christ. Oh, the millennial reign, not the latter days. Gotcha. This commenced the gospel tutorship of Joseph Smith by Moroni. Are they referring to Acts as a book of Peter? Are you kidding me? It's the book of the apostles. The former treatise have I made, O Theophilus, Philus. It's God of love, of all that Jesus began. Until the day in which he was taken up. That's the only thing I can think of here. Yeah, okay, so if Peter wrote the book of Acts, he's writing to Theophilus, the God of love. This will assume it's literal history and it's a legitimate historical book by the historical author. So the church is claiming it's by Peter. I can't figure out any other source. They don't mention Acts. And so Peter, in verse 13, says, "And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room, where abode both Peter Are you familiar with first person, second person, third person? And James and John and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew, Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon Zealots, and Judas, the brother of James." In those days, Peter stood up in the midst of the disciples. It's not Peter. Bombshell number 2. We're going to have to upload this tomorrow. Oh my God. Who wrote this manual? We need to know and punish them if they're still alive. But the sad thing is that these manuals for the CES department were done by CES instructors. That's the scary thing. The Sunday school manuals, no, that was a different group of people. Sometimes they could have a seminary teacher or an institute teacher who comes in and helps, but it's up to the supervisor of the project. When the prophet says, "I want this done." Oh dear God. Wow. Because the book of Acts also is not literal history, it's prophecy of the latter days. Dear God. So important was Nephi's message. Let's go back to Nephi. And the need to impress it on the mind of young prophet that Nephi returned twice more that night. 4 times. 4 times. 4. God, did you not even read it? They're just putting in their oral traditional memory history. The oral tradition of the seminary teacher. Oh, dear God. Because that's the whole thing I've been talking with you guys about. 4 times, and then he comes back 4 years to the hill. This is the bicentennial year. He's trying to teach you something. So this person is purposely deceiving you about that coded because this is the final year. Yeah. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, the final year. 2020 was the Exodus year, 4 years later. 2017 is the first year of the latter days. 18, 19, 20, 4 and 4 make 8 for Passover of the Exodus, which the Christians have covered up with Passion Week of 8 days. During the first interview, saw the plates. Because, yeah, he's not going to talk about Christ other than preparations to be made in the last days for the millennial reign of Christ. This is when he is born in the latter days. 2020 is the Jubilee year. That's his 50th year. He is now 50 years old in 2020, according to the learning of the Jews' prophecies of him. Which means he was born in the covenant in the great and abominable church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 1970. That's how you get the year. You get the date from multiple sources for the 17th of March. That's when you'll know when your Christ is born. And, having done the video about that, I also showed you the sign in the heavens for his birthday. Cha-ching! Prophecy fulfilled, and a sign in the heavens for his birthday. Twilight in the morning, according to prophecy. But Mormons don't believe. And nobody's listening to me. Talking to myself. Okay, yeah, they don't get into detail. Because this History of the Church manual is different from scripture manuals. They don't cover each verse of scripture. They cover history, only what they want you to know from history. And they purposely gloss over with Moroni and gloss over with... That just is so wild. That is just... wild. I have to say this again. This is just wild. Yeah. So this is the error. It says Moroni in here in the text, but it's not the original document. Yeah, that's the difference here, is that a lot of what I've been able to expose has been because of showing the original documents. This is an 1835 edition of the Doctrine and Covenants, assuming that's what it is. I'm concerned that it says circa August 1835, but it's not. That's weird. What's going on here? Are we going to see another bombshell? It's section 50, L. Yeah, Doctrine and Covenants 1835 is a different version. But it looks like it's the same. Yeah. So why did you have the other one? Yeah, it's an error, which is not uncommon. The Book of Mormon had an error in it with King Mosiah versus King Benjamin, if you are aware of that. Certain Mormon institute and seminary teachers love to bring that up. But yeah, that is an error, because Joseph Smith History 1838, Joseph Smith put Nephi. Interesting. But yeah, they don't want to talk about our Christ. Purposely ignoring it. Skipping over it. Yeah. But that explains why they put in Moroni over Nephi with Joseph Smith's 1838 version. Which, yeah, he did have. Yeah, because the 1835 edition would have been put in through a print press, but his visionary account was Times and Seasons. Recording. No, the 1838 was the 1838 because it began in 1838 and didn't begin in 1839. So somebody's got to go in and correct that in the Wikipedia page. So the reason why is because Joseph Smith got locked up in Liberty Jail, framed by the Danites for their election fraud in Daviess County after he had written that visionary account. And so, yes, you got to pay close attention, because the church is definitely trying to cover things up here. Yeah, it was in the Times and Seasons. And so even the Times and Seasons had it as Nephi. That's how you can confirm. But the 1835 original manuscripts, we do not have. The church does not have. They are not showing. Richards is the one who put in Jesus Christ in that visionary account. It was the Church of Latter-day Saints. So you can't trust Willard Richards with anything he says. He was the one who shot Joseph in the back. Yeah. They don't want to talk about our Christ. No wonder Mormons are confused by me going over in graphic detail the scriptures